Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee. Welcome back to the Zach Lee Show, where we go over everything that went down in the NBA from the previous day. As always, I appreciate you guys for checking back in each and every single day. You guys are the real MVPs, but now let's just get into everything that did go down yesterday. But first, I do have to tell you a bit about this video sponsor, athleticcases.com. You can now rock your favorite player on the back of your phone, no matter what the sport: basketball, baseball, football, or even soccer. Use the promo code ZachLee for 10% off any order. Click the link in the description to learn more. Now though, on to the video. Lego. Biggest news that came out yesterday in the NBA world was when Adam Silver came out and said that the NBA is exploring ways in which they can work with high school players again. In response to all the craziness that has been surrounding the NCAA as of late, we are looking at changing the relationship we have with players before they reach the NBA. This is a complex challenge, and there's still a lot of discussion about how it's going to happen, but we all see the need to step in. That's what Adam Silver said. So it's going to happen for sure now. Now, they've said things in the past referring to them getting rid of the one and done rule, trying to work out something new with the NCAA. But now it seems like they're putting their foot down. You're like, you know what? We're going to start working with these high school players again. They're going to be allowed to come to the NBA straight out of high school, and that's just how it's going to be. So I don't see why it's so confusing, why it said that it's a challenging thing for them to do when all they need to do is do it. Maybe they're going to make it different somehow to make sure that some kids don't come to the NBA out of high school when they actually might not be ready to. Because the dangerous thing about this one and done rule is kids coming out of high school straight to the NBA before they actually might be ready to, just so they can get paid. When you have the choice of going to college and being broke, or going to the NBA and getting to that bag, well, it can cloud your judgment as to whether or not you are actually ready to be an NBA player just yet. And that is pretty much what Kevin Durant's response to this whole thing was. I think it's good for guys that are coming out of high school who are not quite ready for the NBA, but yet want to make a little bit of cash playing basketball and wanting to be a professional early, where every day you're thinking about the game of basketball, not about school, not dorm rooms, none of that stuff. Just think about basketball and how to get better. I think it all depends on how you feel. You gotta be honest with yourself at the end of the day. If you're not as good as you think you are when you get to the NBA, you probably should have went to the G League or college. So you gotta assess yourself and your real skills, and people around you gotta be real with you and not blow smoke up your butt. He nailed it. I agree with everything that Kevin Durant said. Coming straight out of high school to the NBA can be a very dangerous thing, because at the time you might think you're the stuff. You might think you're ready to go straight from high school to the NBA. Why do I need to go to college? I can go to the NBA, become the next LeBron James, Trace McGrady, KG, or even Dwight Howard. They'll have all the confidence in the world, but when they get to the NBA, that confidence gets shot straight out the sky. That could go on to haunt or damage their entire NBA career, where instead of becoming the next KG or Dwight Howard, they're the next Kwame Brown. So it is dangerous, and like KD said, they're gonna need people around whom are gonna keep it real with them, tell them the truth. If they're not ready to go to the NBA, if their game hasn't developed enough, or they as a person physically haven't developed enough, you gotta let them know, because it's gonna be easy for the relatives and friends and family to say, you know what, go straight to the NBA. Why? Because you're gonna get paid. When you get paid, we all come up. You're gonna need people to keep it 100% real with them, because if not, they're gonna see a lot of these kids getting excited, seeing the bags that these NBA players are getting, looking at college and seeing how broke they are, and be like, screw it, I'm going to the NBA, and that could be a huge mistake for their career. Despite this possibly being dangerous though, it still is a great thing that the NBA is getting rid of the one and done rule, because at least it gives the kids another option. They'll be able to do whatever it is that they want, and the NCAA won't be allowed to exploit these guys anymore. Speaking of the NCAA and the NBA, someone who's going to be coming to the NBA next season is Deandre Ayton. A couple of days ago, he officially declared for the 2018 NBA draft. And yesterday, well, the Phoenix Suns pretty much came out and said that if Deandre Ayton is available when they get to pick, which their pick should either be the first or second pick in the draft, even though Phoenix has had some pretty bad luck with the NBA draft lottery, but it should be the first or second pick in the draft, that when it comes their time to make the selection, they will pick Deandre Ayton. That's pretty much what they said. McDonald also said center is slightly a higher priority than point guard. In other words, if Phoenix gets the #1 pick, Ayton could very well be the guy. I know a lot of people were hoping we would see a backcourt of Trae Young and Devin Booker in Phoenix because of the obvious explosiveness that backcourt would have offensively. But Ayton does make a lot more sense for Phoenix if you were to ask me. They desperately need a center, and Ayton, he's going to be a very, very good big man in the NBA for a very long time. And pairing a guy like that next to Devin Booker, that would be deadly. There have been quite a few dirty plays going on in the NBA in the past few days. It all started with Jeff Teague, and then you had the Yusuf Nurkic incident yesterday, and now you have Lance Stephenson. Even though he tried to be a little more low-key about his dirtiness than Teague and Nurkic were in their games, but nonetheless, Lance Stephenson was caught flat out tripping John Henson in yesterday's Bucks vs Pacers game. Like I said, he tried to be low-key with it, but it was clear as day, and I'm not sure how the ref didn't catch that. Like, what did you think happened to John Henson when you see him all of a sudden just go to the floor? Then again, John Henson apparently didn't know what happened either until after the game when he saw what happened and tweeted out this emoji face. And that wasn't the only thing that happened in that game that involved Lance Stephenson yesterday. You guys remember back in the Eastern Conference Finals a few years ago when Lance Stephenson blew into LeBron James' ear, right?
Pacers, including this, blowing in the ear of LeBron James, and James' reaction.
Well, Jason Terry of all people remembered, and he decided to get some payback on Lance Stephenson for LeBron, I guess. Lance got Lance. As after he made a three in Lance Stephenson's face, Jason Terry blew in his ear.
Now, but Shabazz was a terrific college player at UCLA. There he is. Jason Terry, the Jet. And you see him get all up into Lance Stephenson after he buries the jump shot. Jason Terry letting Lance Stephenson have a bit of his own medicine. Watch what the Jet does to Lance Stephenson.
What goes around comes around, I guess. But that's actually gonna do it for all the news and updates from yesterday. Now let's just take a quick look at the games from last night. It was great to see Larry Nance Jr. play so well for Cleveland. With Thompson out for the next 2 weeks, Larry Nance Jr. was given the nod as starting center for Cleveland. Some people are going to say that it should have happened sooner for the Cavs since Thompson hasn't been productive since well, you guys remember that time when he I forgot when that was. Since Thompson hasn't done much in a while, let's just leave it at that. And if Nance keep playing as well as he did last night, or even half as well, to be honest, in these next couple of weeks, he will be the starting center for Cleveland even when Thompson gets back. Furthermore, along with Nance, Rodney Hood was also promoted to the starting lineup as well at the 3 spot, meaning LeBron James was the starting power forward for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And this whole lineup just looked better. There was more floor spacing, they were quicker and more athletic, they were better all around. Nance with the career night scoring 22 points and grabbing 15 rebounds. LeBron with 31 points, 7 rebounds and 7 assists, and it was great to see the Cavs team play like this, but it was also unfortunate that it had to happen against my Pistons. 112-90 the final score. It looked like the Lakers were on their way to their 6th straight win over a red-hot Blazers team. It really did look that way until, well, Damian Lillard happened. Once Damian Lillard happened, it was over. Dame erupted in the 4th quarter, scoring 19 points in the 4th alone and willing Portland to the 108-103 win over the Lakers so they can remain the number 3 seed out west. Dame finishing with 39 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. The man is a walking, running, flying, whatever you want to call it. The man is a bucket, straight up bucket. Well, Julius Randle had 21 points and 9 rebounds for the Lakers. Well, you guys already know about the dirty plays and taunting that happened in this game, and this could very well be a first-round matchup in the Eastern Conference, either the 4v5 matchup or the 3v6. So those dirty plays and taunting could lead to a pretty interesting first-round series. It was the Pacers who got the win last night, though, 92-89 over Milwaukee, as it seemed like Milwaukee just used up all their energy in their previous night in the comeback win over Philly. Bogdanovich was the high man in this game with 29 points for the Pacers. Speaking of 29 points, Chicago had 29 points at the half. These are the type of games that just be called early, because finishing this game was no more than a formality. It was over from the tip. And that was even without Kyrie Irving playing for Boston due to the Celtics saying he had knee soreness. Irving did say it was nothing serious, and let's be honest here, this was just Boston resting Kyrie Irving against a team they knew they didn't need him against. 105-89 the final score, and the score made it seem closer than it was because Boston wasn't trying at all in the 4th quarter. Jaylen Brown stepped up in Irving's absence, scored 21, while Denzel Valentine recorded 20 for the Bulls. Dang, and the Magic were just starting to look more like the Magic team that we saw in the first 5 games of the season too, when they fooled everybody into thinking they were actually going to be good. Well, Hope they enjoyed it while it lasted, because it was a great 2-game stretch for Orlando, but the Jazz had to send them packing back to reality last night with a 94-80 win. And I want to say, for as great as Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz have been over the past couple of months, someone who doesn't get enough credit for them winning as of late is Rudy Gobert. He dominated yesterday with 21 points and 17 rebounds, and now that he is finally healthy, he is looking more like the player we thought we were going to see at the beginning of the season. Quinn Snyder, though, the head coach of the Jazz, got ejected with under a minute left to play, and his team already up big. The game was over, and he just went off. The man was livid. The Spurs couldn't afford to lose this game. With how tight the West is from 3 all the way to 9, you can't afford to lose teams like Memphis that should be free wins, and the Spurs didn't lose. Look, it was close, but they didn't lose. 108-98 the final score, as Tony Parker took a sip from the fountain of youth before the game so he could score 23. And the Heat blew up the Suns. Trying to see what else there is to say about this game, but I don't think there is much to say. Justice Winslow had a nice poster. Whiteside was dominant, 24 points, 14 rebounds, and Booker at least played well for the Suns with 31 points, but that's about it. And that wraps up all the action from last night too. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos, as well as join the quest to 200,000 subscribers, #1,000,000 a year. Remember to vote for the player of the day, but also remember the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yes, that player was Giannis Antetokounmpo, and his 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, I am out of here.